Good evening, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don with you on your Wednesday evening as we're going to give you a quick update here on the weather situation that we expect to see across East Alabama and West Georgia this evening. We welcome those of you who are listening to us via radio, WFAZ 89.9 God's Country and WJHO 89.7 or 90.9 and 89.7, The Classic. And, of course, for those of you who are watching us on all of our social media outlets, including Facebook, YouTube, and DrDonWX.com. So let's talk about what we've got going on out there right now and what we think is going to happen as we go through the overnight hours. As you know, we have a slight risk to a marginal risk across most of East Alabama and West Georgia for the possibility of strong to marginally severe thunderstorms after midnight tonight. If you'll look, those of you who are watching us on social media, if you'll take a look at the radar that we're showing you right now, you can see that line of thunderstorms stretching from just east of Nashville, Tennessee, down to about Jackson, Mississippi, and then it trails on to the southwest to near Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We do have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings and several tornado warnings along that line of thunderstorms at this hour as it gets ready to push into West Alabama. Already into northwest Alabama, we do have a couple of thunderstorm warnings up there along the Tennessee Valley regions of North Alabama and southern Tennessee, and then multiple severe thunderstorm warnings right along the Alabama-Mississippi state line, and one tornado warning currently valid just to the east of Jackson, Mississippi, between Jackson, Mississippi and the Alabama state line. So as this line of storms continue to move off to the east, we think that the line of storms will be in a weakening mode. We have lost the heating of the day, so we expect these storms to slowly weaken as they move into west central and central Alabama and then into east Alabama after midnight tonight, probably toward 1 or 2 a.m. Before they actually make it into most of our East Alabama counties, and then on over into Georgia as we head toward daybreak tomorrow morning. We think the storms will be weakening. Now, while we cannot completely rule out the possibility of a few strong to severe thunderstorms, we think, though, that we will not see widespread severe weather as we have seen across Mississippi this afternoon and this evening. We did have a tornado watch that covered a good chunk of West Alabama earlier this evening, but the Storm Prediction Center has since let that thing expire, and they're monitoring now to see if they're going to reissue that, and we should know something in the next 30 minutes or so as to whether or not they're going to do that. Right now, I would have to say that a watch for East Alabama or West Georgia seems somewhat unlikely at this time. It's just really going to depend on how these storms behave over the next 3 to 4 hours as they move through West Alabama and into central Alabama. So we're going to be watching that for you as we go throughout the overnight hours. I know that a lot of you will be going to bed tonight. And of course, there is that chance of severe weather after midnight, so that I would suggest you have a good source of weather information, something that will wake you up during the middle of the night in the event that warnings are indeed issued for East Alabama or West Georgia. Of course, your best option is a NOAA weather radio, but certainly make sure that you have a good app on your phone and have that notification volume turned up real loud so that you will be able to get those notifications if you do go to bed tonight before these storms move through the area. Of course, if it does happen, I will have live coverage for you here on Dr. Don's Weather. We are on a remote location this week. We're down in Savannah, Georgia for a conference, but we have the capabilities of going live. Obviously, we're live right now, so we will have coverage for you in the event that that does happen. But remain weather aware as we go throughout the evening, and just know that there is that chance of severe weather, I think primarily after midnight, probably around 2 a.m. before that main line gets into East Alabama and West Georgia. Again, we anticipate this to be a weakening line of thunderstorms, but we still cannot rule out the possibility of a few strong to marginally severe storms as we go through the early morning hours. So we're going to stand by for about 10 seconds and allow our radio stations to go back to regular programming. We appreciate those of you who listen to us on WFAZ and WJHO, and we'll pause and let them go back to regular programming. Then I'll come back and answer any questions you may have in the chat room. You have been listening to live severe weather coverage from Dr. Don's Weather on WFAZ and WJHO. All right, East Alabama and West Georgia, Dr. Don back in here with you for just a few minutes. If you have any particular questions, now's a good time to post it in the chat room, and I'll answer those questions for you right quick before we wrap things up this evening. Yeah, we appreciate all you folks who are in here this evening watching us from all over East Alabama and West Georgia. Question there, are we getting a storm? Yeah, there's a good chance you're going to hear some thunder and lightning. Whether or not it's severe, we're going to kind of have to wait and see how this thing evolves. We've lost the heating of the day. So we would anticipate this line of storms to start calming down now in the next hour or two. And they've still got at least 3 to 4 hours before they get into East Alabama. So I'm anticipating a weakening line of thunderstorms as they move into East Alabama and West Georgia. The question here is, even though they may be weakening, just how strong will they be by the time they get to East Alabama before they actually start to weaken? And we think that will happen before they get into East Alabama, but it's going to be a close call. So that's why I'm saying to you that if you're going to go to bed tonight, make sure that you have a good source of weather information so that you will be able to get notified in the event that warnings are issued later on this evening. The line of storms is pretty potent right now, but it's still back over central and eastern Mississippi. It's got a ways to go before it gets into East Alabama. So there is ample time there for this line of storms to fall apart before it gets into our coverage area, and we're hoping that that's what we see happen over the next several hours. Good evening, Roy. Thank you for joining us from Roxton. Robin Williams watching us this evening. Mr. Jamie Dukas, thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Christy Willingham watching us this evening. Thank you, Christy. Widow is in the house. Thank you, Summer. Gold Ridge, Jamie Nolan. Tallapoosa, Georgia. Tallapoosa, I think you'll hear a rumble of thunder or two. I think the storms will weaken before they get into your area. But we've got to remain alert tonight, just in case these storms don't weaken as we anticipate. There's David. Hey, David Treadwell and Roxton. Thank you, Richie. Childersburg. Thank you, Ben. Anita watching us in Roanoke. Amy Turner from Sugar Ridge. There's Chrissy from Mellow Valley. Yeah, Crystal, I think they'll weaken before they get to Wadley. Brenda Carson is in Wadley. Deborah Rutledge in Valley, Alabama. There's Miss Nikki East Sanders in Rock Mills. Robbie Harris in Bon Air. There's Doug in Ranburne. Christy's in Tin Shop. Well, I got to show Tin Shop some love. I'll get in trouble if I don't. We're watching you, Tin Shop. Lisa is in Lynette. There's a Facebook user in Auburn. Agnes is watching us in Roanoke. Jeff is in Talladega. Potash Ridge. Hey, Shannon. Bria Green watching us at Broughton Ridge. Judy is watching us from Concord. Carrie is in Graham. Fredonia is in the house. I know 5 Points is in the house. We got East Alabama Bee Company, brand new partners here on Dr. Don's Weather. We appreciate Mr. Jeff, and Jeff is going to start providing us with current conditions there in the 5 Points area. We're going to get all that set up, and by the time we get things back to normal here, we'll be back in the studio on Friday, and we're going to start doing some cool stuff with East Alabama Bee Company. Producer Tracy will tell you I've always been fascinated by that idea of being a beekeeper, and I think I'm fixing to take that leap. And Mr. Jeff is going to help me do that, and we're going to videotape that process. I'm actually going to go down to 5 Points and get with Jeff and let him tell us all about beekeeping. He can help you with those needs, too, if you're looking to get into it, and if you're looking for queens and all the stuff that goes along with being a beekeeper, he is the person to talk to. Morrison's Crossroads, Folsom Communities in the house. And Jessica Nolan watching us from Gold Ridge. So thank you, folks. And once again, I just wanted to jump in here tonight and kind of give you. So Judy just bought more bees from Jeff. How about that? Good deal, Judy. Y'all keep supporting him so he can keep supporting me so I can keep supporting y'all. That's how this works. There's my old buddy Warren Guy from Prattville, Alabama. That's one of my old high school buddies right there. Good to see you, Warren. Is my app more accurate than WBRC Fox 6 app? Accurate in what respect are we talking here? As far as radars, for alerts for East Alabama, it all comes from the same place. It's just different folks present the data in different ways. It's all pretty accurate. All right, so here's the deal, folks. We have a line of thunderstorms, which is pretty strong right now, coming through central Mississippi. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings right there along the Alabama-Mississippi state line. So you're going to start hearing about warnings over in West Alabama here in the next 30 minutes or so. And things are going to be kind of rough over there in West Alabama for the next couple of hours. And then as that line of thunderstorms approaches central Alabama, basically along I-65, we think that line of thunderstorms will start to weaken. As it pushes into East Alabama, it's coming through during the overnight hours. We've lost the heating of the day. So as the atmosphere begins to cool and these storms begin to work into East Alabama, where it will be at its coolest, we believe that the storms will start to fade away, and they may still be strong when they come through East Alabama. You certainly may hear a lot of thunder and lightning. The winds could be a little gusty, and some heavy rainfall certainly possible. But we think the storms will stay below severe limits. Now, there could be a rogue severe storm or two here and there, but we're not anticipating seeing warnings all up and down that line as it makes it into East Alabama after midnight tonight and continue on through 3 or 4 a.m. this morning. But we're going to watch that, and if for some reason the storms don't weaken as we anticipate, then I'll certainly be here with you, and we will have live coverage for you here on Dr. Don's Weather. So we appreciate you joining us this evening. Just keep your phone close by. Make sure that you have a good source of severe weather information. If you don't already have a NOAA weather radio, folks, this is a prime example of why you need one. When these storms come through in the middle of the night like this, if you're like me, notifications on your phone probably are not going to wake you up. But I can almost guarantee you that a NOAA weather radio will shake you out of the bed when it goes off. Those things are very loud, and they will wake you up. So if you don't have one, I encourage you to get one tomorrow. Don't wait until the next severe weather event threatens before you decide to go purchase one. You can get them at your department stores. You can purchase them online. They're easy to set up nowadays. And you just need to make sure that you get yourself a NOAA weather radio. Do not depend on outdoor warning sirens to wake you up, especially if you're going to be inside. Those things are designed for outdoor warning. That's why they're called outdoor warning sirens. So get yourself a NOAA weather radio. Make sure you have a good app downloaded on your phone. And I'll be back with you in the event that we do have severe weather after midnight tonight here on Dr. Don's Weather. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your evening. Hopefully, I won't talk to you anymore tonight. I'll see you next time right here on Dr. Don's Weather.